Tonight's headlines: President Duterte gets vaccinated. Warm ties with Philippines made China pull out vessels. Around 1,000 new contact tracers expected to start this week. Coronavirus cases in the country at 1,062,225. Manila to prioritize health workers in Sputnik V jabs. 2022 elections to proceed, smaller turnout seen. PSEI continues retreat. And Peso carves 2-month high against US dollar. Good evening. Today is Monday, May 3, 2021. I am Elmer Navarro Manuel and this is Tribune News on Q. Here are the stories for this evening. President Rodrigo Duterte has been inoculated against COVID-19 using China-made Sinopharm vaccine. In a Facebook Live, Duterte's former assistant, Senator Bongo, showed the video of the president receiving a jab in Malacanang. The vaccine was administered by Health Secretary Francisco Duque III. Sinopharm's application for an emergency use authorization is still pending before the Food and Drug Administration after it was filed in March. However, has given Sinopharm's vaccine approval for compassionate use. Malacanang on Monday cited warm relationship between the Philippines and China for the removal of some of the Chinese ships from the Julian Felipe Reef, which is within Manila's exclusive economic zone. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque noted that the number of Chinese ships in this area has since dwindled from over 200 in March. Of last count by Filipino authorities, there were at least 14 Chinese vessels near the reef. Beijing claimed the ships were just taking shelter in the area, although Philippine government officials doubt that. Roque is reacting to observations that Duterte's statements are not making an impact with China. Department of the Interior and Local Government spokesperson Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya on Monday said that around 1,000 newly hired contact tracers are expected to start with their jobs this week. Malaya said over 10,000 have applied as contact tracers, and of which more than 2,000 applications were already assessed by the DILG. Over the weekend, the DILG, Department of Labor and Employment, and the Metro Manila Development Authority signed an agreement aimed at boosting the hiring of contact tracers. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III said the memorandum of agreement with the DILG and MMDA aimed to employ close to 6,000 contact tracers that will be tasked to help curb the spread of COVID-19 infections in the country. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Iba ng panahon, dami ng bago ngayon. Pati ang mundo natin, well, nagbago na rin. Buti ang bayan, bigger, better na. You can buy it sa centers, pati sa mga partners, may online pa at app. You can buy it with your fingers, still don't remittance and more. Online shopping, you can buy it all. Di magpadala, you can buy it all. Anumang pera transaction, you can buy it all. Sabayan ang pagbabago ng mundo for all your pera transactions, all new Bayad.
Viber is the free and secure way to connect with friends and family, anywhere. Send messages and make phone and video calls for free. Download Viber now.
The Department of Health reported 7,255 confirmed coronavirus disease cases on Monday, to bring the total number of infected in the country to 1,062,225, even as 15 laboratories failed to submit data on time. It brought the total number of active cases in the country to 69,466, of which 94.7% are mild, 1.8% are asymptomatic, 1.1% are critical, and 1.1% are in severe condition. The number of recoveries, on the other hand, rose to 975,234 after 9,214 patients recovered from the respiratory disease. The death toll now stands at 17,525, with 94 fatalities recorded. Data from the DOH also show that 65% of the country's intensive care unit beds and 42% of the mechanical ventilators are utilized. The Manila city government said it will prioritize health workers in its vaccinations using the initial doses of Sputnik V, which arrived in the country this Monday. The local government announced that the 3,000 Sputnik V doses were shipped to Manila and were immediately stored in a COVID-19 facility at Santa Ana Hospital. According to the national government's priority list, the category includes frontline health workers in health facilities, both national and local, private and public health professionals, and non-professionals like students, nursing aides, janitors, and barangay health workers, among others. The City Health Department will coordinate with the city's district hospitals to determine the number of medical workers who will get the Sputnik V doses. In other news, Election Commissioner Rowena Guanzon on Monday shut down rumors that the 2022 elections will be postponed amid the COVID-19 pandemic. She, however, said that the voter turnout would be affected by the continued spread of the deadly disease. Guanzon said the Commission on Elections could draw lessons from various countries that conducted elections during the pandemic, as well as from Palawan's experience in conducting the recent plebiscite. The Palawan plebiscite has Guanzon expecting a lower voter turnout for the 2022 national elections. We'll pause for a short break. Stay with us. In business, Philippine share prices retreated for the second consecutive session on Monday as investors await corporate earnings reports. The local stock barometer lost 1.59 points or 0.03% to 6,369.28 at the closing bell. The PSEI shed 1.8% or 116.64 points to 6,370.87 on Friday. The broader all-shares index meanwhile lost 0.03 points or 0.001% to 3,923.00. Regina Capital Development Corporation Head of Sales Luis Limlingan said that local shares started the month of May on a soft note as one of the busiest weeks of the first quarter of the year. Earnings came to a close in the US, while the Philippines geared for more corporate releases. More than 3.025 billion shares, valued at 4.389 billion pesos, changed hands. Decliners led advancers 111 to 83, and 56 issues were unchanged. And the Philippine peso appreciated against the greenback on Monday to hit its best showing in over 2 months following the release of local economic data. The local currency gained 5 centavos to close at 48.05 to a dollar from last Friday's finish of 48.1 to a dollar. This is the best showing of the peso since February 15's 47.93 to a dollar. Earlier in the trading day, IHS Markit reported the Philippines Purchasing Managers Index at 49.0 in April, its first contraction after 3 consecutive months of expansion. Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation Chief Economist Michael Ricafort said the latest figures suggest a slower recovery in the overall economy and in imports and less demand for the dollar. That wraps up the stories tonight. Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune Digital Edition and Press Reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store or Google Play to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available in our community Viber. Just visit the sticker store and search for Katribu. And before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store and the Araneta City for their continued support. Again, this is Elmer Navarro Manuel and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good night, and God bless us all.
Montero Sport. Elevate your journey.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.